Dianne, we'll have our children's group.
Glad to have you two here. You've missed a little bit of this episode, so we're going to go back and catch you up on the story, okay? It's about Ellen White's granddaughter. Her name is? Ellen. Well, she had a little problem. Are you aware that the granddaughter had a little problem? What was her problem? Huh? You don't remember? Well, she wanted to go to school and get good grades, and she got upset because she had to clean the house and do the wash and do dishes and all this stuff. And they had to go to night school because they were there in Australia, and she kind of wanted to get good grades, and good grades are important. And one night she cried her heart out, didn't she? And she got down on her knees, and she wasn't sure that the Lord would hear a little child's prayer. Was that true? Yeah, right. Well, we got a memory text. Wait a minute. Say it first.
Luke 16, verse 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much.
And Grandma used to say that to him. We must be faithful. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be little things. So she got down on her knees and she prayed, Lord, I don't know if you hear my little prayer or not, but, this isn't fair. I don't want to clean house and do wash and mend my own clothes. And she finally fell asleep. And the next day, the buggy came up, and who was it? It was Ellen White. Here comes Grandma. And was Grandma her little cheery little self when she came this time? She wasn't, was she? And what did the grandkids were probably like, uh-oh. And she said to Willie's wife, get your family in the parlor now. I have something to say. Whoa, yeah. And so they all went in the parlor and they sat down. We have a different scene this time, but I had the parlor last week when you wasn't here. So I'm doing this for you two, just catch up. And she was holding the twins. Each one of the girls was holding the twins. They had twin boys, William did. And she looked at William and said, you take your boys, I'm talking to the girls. I had an angel come and visit me last night at about 11 o'clock. I couldn't sleep. She gets out her satchel where she carried everything in it. She pulls out these papers. Can't you imagine those granddaughters? They were like, what's Grandma going to say now? Grandma never pulled out the satchel and read anything to me before, So they were kind of like, okay. And I imagine they weren't fidgeting around or anything. They were really sitting at attention. And then she started talking about things that's more than important than schoolwork. And it was like washing your clothes, mending your dresses, darning your socks, cleaning up the kitchen, see chores to do without being told to do them. Oh, am I hitting some bones here or something? Do we have to be told every time we have to take the trash out or do dishes? Okay. Well, anyways, so see, the story is for everybody. Older people have the problem too. Do I have to make my bed? There's not going to be nobody coming in my house. I don't need to make my bed today, right? But we do, right? And so Ellen talked to them about the things they needed to do, and obeying around the house and seeing things to do is very important. But as soon as Grandma was done talking to them, she kept keeping this memory verse in her head again. Read it again, honey.
He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much.
She kept saying, I have to be faithful. I have to do this. I have to do this. But then she got upset. I think somebody else was in her heart, and she ran upstairs and she flung herself on the bed And she started crying and crying and crying. And all of a sudden, like lightning struck her, but we know it was God talking to her, right? And she got out of bed from sobbing, feeling sorry for herself because she wanted to get really super great, and she didn't want to have to listen to be told everything to do, and she just didn't want that. But all of a sudden, she got down on her knees and she prayed, and she said, "Dear Jesus, you did hear a little girl's prayer, didn't you? I am so happy that you heard the prayer and that Grandma come and talk to me. And I want to do things that are right. We have to do everything and without being told to do. We have to see things to do and do it. We know what our chores are to do around the house. Mama's busy. She don't have to tell me to make my bed every morning. She don't have to tell me to put my dirty clothes in the hamper when they're dirty. Outside the hamper doesn't count. It's inside the hamper, right? You have to do that." I heard an amen. I wonder who that was from. But anyway, we have to do that. And that's what the message was, especially for little children. And their names were mentioned, which was good. All of a sudden, she was up there and she was thinking, I got to do better with this. Then when I need my schoolwork done, the Lord's going to help me too. But first I have to do my things around the home and become a nice little lady when I grow up, or a handsome young guy, you know? Whoa. And so she ran down to the kitchen, and she knew then, there's something I didn't get done. I hid something so Mama wouldn't know I didn't do it. And look, right there, she pulled out this old pan, and she didn't want to scrub the stew out of it. So she hid it behind the wood stock over here, and she was hoping Mama didn't see it. But who do you think did see and know that it was there? Her angel, yes, and Jesus. And so she got that pan, and I don't know what they scrubbed it with, if it was sandstones or rocks back then, but I don't think they had a Brillo pad. And she scrubbed that thing so shiny. Oh, and then she got thinking, oh my goodness, what else didn't I do? Oh, I know. I just put the tablecloth on, and I didn't scrub the top of the table. So she took the tablecloth off, and she goes, oh, yes, I didn't do that either. I was trying to do some things that I was just trying to get away with doing, and I didn't think anybody would ever see it. But now I know, I really know that people do it. So she got her brush out, and she scrubbed the top of the table off, and then she looked around the kitchen some more, and she, there's that old piece of pumpkin rind laying there, and I didn't take it out to the garden so we can put it on her garden spot. She ran that out to the garden. She was so happy. And do you know what she said when she got all done? She says, hereafter I will try to do every task as carefully and faithfully as though I was looking up and seeing Jesus observing everything I do, and Jesus is smiling. Don't we want to see Jesus smile? And we want, the angel writes down all the good things, and we want the good things to be a page, 2 or 3 pages every day, and we do mess up, but maybe just 2 or 3 lines, and then we work on those 2 or 3 lines, okay? See you next week. Good to have you.